それじゃあみんな、4日間のお祭りは無事終了と相なりました。これまで大変ご苦労様でした。乾杯。露店で遊んでただけの人が無事もご苦労もないでしょ。
Nobody seems to pay attention to Hisakaki's complaints. Everyone who was going around the festival just moments before is now gathered at the Milky Way as if it were an after-party. Apparently, the boss happens to be at the shrine drinking with Mayaka.
こっちは疲れてるのに無理やり連れ出して。
Think of it as your celebration party.
私の何を祝うのよ。
Your dancing was amazing.
神楽殿に入った時、あなたたちが目の前にいたから驚いて声上げそうになったわよ。
So, Kozame kept the VIP seating a secret from her?
問い詰めように小雨はいないし。
Kozame had some cleanup work to do after the festival and is going to join us later. On the other hand, Mayaka is still drinking alcohol. As a display of thanks, Hisakaki was exempted from the cleaning up, and we ended up bringing her along with us. Anyway, that's how it is. Let us congratulate you.
別にあなたたちに祝ってもらう筋合いないから、むしろ気色悪いんだけど。
You'd be perfect if you didn't talk.
何の話よ。
I'll be coming to watch you next year too.
来ないで。これ7つ目の要求だから。
Whoa, wait just a second.
冗談よ。
Hisakaki gets the wrong idea.
でもあまり人には言わないでね。
But I want to send photos over to my friends back in the city.
絶対やめて。
She appears to be embarrassed for some reason.
小笠坂くんだって学力のこと人に教えたくないんでしょ。多分それと一緒だから。
I somehow get it and somehow don't. Resting her chin on one hand and a glass of non-alcoholic beverage in the other, her eyes follow the fuss all around the room.
祭りでも騒いで、祭りが終わっても騒いで、元気なことね。
We are planning to go to the lookout after taking a rest.
星見？
Yeah!
よく体力が続くわね。
Asuho said we are going no matter what. Besides, isn't today the lunar Tanabata? She turns away. Hisakaki refused to lend them the key to the rooftop on the day of Tanabata, which was why Asuho couldn't observe the stars.
屋上の使用許可、打診してみるつもりだから。
She says that with a sigh. Thanks.
その代わり、登校日までの境内の打ち水と掃除、きっちり手伝いなさいね。
Roger that.
明日、神楽殿の大掃除もやるから、それもよろしく。
Jeez, I got it already.
あと、神楽衣装をクリーニングに出しておいて。
Okay.
なぎなたも研いでおいて。
Okay.
私が指鳴らしたらうちわで仰いで、2回指鳴らしたら麦茶持ってきて。
How tyrannical.
登校日まであと3日。思いつく限りの要求叶えてもらわないとね。
I pray that she's merciful.
お兄ちゃん、ちなみに眠々だから寝るね。
Don't sleep on the table. Bear with it until we get home. It's getting late and my sister's bedtime is drawing near.
さすがに眠くなってきたな。
みんなだらしないな。鈴葉も眠くなった？
アスホくん、そろそろお開きにしようか。特に鈴葉ちゃんは家に帰してあげないと。
残念ですけど了解です。小雨ちゃんにも連絡しておきますね。
Kozame hasn't arrived yet. It seems she's getting held back by the cleanup.
本当は3次会も予定してたんだけどな。どれだけ体力バカなのよ。だって今日は七夕のリベンジなんだよ。
By a third event, she's referring to stargazing. Asuho, why not have our third event and those who are able to come can participate?
ゆうちゃんは？
I'm coming.
ならオッケー。
現金なやつだな。
僕も行きたいところだけど、電車の時間がちょっとね。
Is the last train coming soon?
都会と違って、ここは電車の本数が少ないからね。
電車組は不参加はやむを得ないでしょうね。私は元から不参加だけど。
とすると、参加できそうなのは小笠坂兄弟と葵さん姉妹になるのか。
私は鈴葉を連れて帰ります。お姉ちゃん。いいから。
Perhaps taking Suza's sleepiness into account, Aoi firmly refuses. Jinami, don't go to sleep again.
ちなみに眠々 参加するね。
Her eyes form thin lines. Looks like our third activity will have to wait until we send Shinami home.
すみません、皆さん。遅くなってしまいました。
Finally, Kosame makes her entrance.
よかった。もう少しでお開きの連絡するところだったよ。だから、すぐにお開きよ。それはしょんぼりです。3次会があるよ。展望台で一緒に星見しない？バカ言わないで。私たちは電車組なんだから。はい、ぜひ参加させてください。ちょっと小雨。たった一駅ですし、徒歩でも帰宅できますから。私が許さない。夜道を一人歩きで帰るなんて。
I can accompany her home.
私も送る。ありがとうございます。なんなのよ、また。
She rubs her forehead.
姉さん、先に帰ってお母さんをよろしくお願いします。飲みすぎると明日の片付けに差し支えますし。わかった。あまり遅くならないようにね。はい。それじゃあ今日は解散。みんなお疲れ様でした。
Everyone responds with their farewells. We split up with the group that's heading for the station and arrive in front of Aoi's house. Aoi-san, how was it today?
疲れました。
A much better response than it was boring. Well then, good night.
おやすみなさい。
Aoi leads Suzaha, who was half asleep, inside. She had apparently contacted their parents beforehand, as I catch sight of their parents coming out to greet them as soon as they open the front door. Now then, I'll drop Chinami off too.
私たちはここで待ってるね。いってらっしゃいませ。
I carry Chinami, who was already in dreamland, on my back and head for our house right beside this one. Chinami alone was heavy enough, so Asuho and Kosame were carrying the telescope tonight. I'll drop Chinami off quickly so that I can take the load of them. Sorry, but can you please take care of Chinami?
部屋に運んでおくわね。ようちゃんの帰りはいつ頃になりそう？
It will probably be after 2 o'clock at the earliest, I think.
じゃあその頃になったら連絡ちょうだい。車を出してあげるから。
You can enter the lookout with your car?
軽自動車ならフェンスのところまで入れるわ。車で迎えに行くくらいは簡単よ。
No, it's alright. I can just walk.
遠慮しないの。お友達も一緒なんでしょ？それも女の子2人。
Yeah.
両手に花ね。
I wonder what she's trying to imply.
みんなも車で送ってあげるから、その方が安全でしょ？
Being considerate of Asuho and Kosame, that is indeed the case. Sorry for the trouble.
それでようちゃん、
What is it?
どちらが彼女さん？
Both of them. No, both of them are just regular friends. I wasn't expecting Onshino to enjoy saying such things. And thus, the three of us climb up the hill. On my right is Asuho and on my left is Kosame. They may be friends, but I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm sandwiched between them. You know, I was certain you were going to decline, Kosame-san.
なぜですか？
You were against it before after saying it was dangerous.
そうだよね。私もダメかなって思ってた。危険ではないんですよね。うん、足場もしっかりしてるし。でしたら、私の杞憂だったということですよね。参加しない理由はありません。
Asuho and I exchange puzzled glances at the sudden change of heart in Kosame's words. She just wants to talk to Mare. We arrive at the lookout. I set down the telescope and take a breather. According to Asuho, the 7th of August is the day when Orihime and Hikoboshi are glowing at their brightest. Looking up at the night sky, the light is so bright that I don't think there's any doubt about it.
星がとても近いですね。
Kosame, who's here for her first time, takes a breath of wonder.
小雨ちゃん、はいこれ。望遠鏡の準備ができるまで、その双眼鏡で星見してるといいや。
Asuho passes her the binoculars and then removes the telescope from its case and starts setting it up. And like some sort of established routine, I look for Mare in the meantime. I take a glance back at Asuho and Kosame, then walk off.
小笠坂さん、
Kosame walks up to me when I'm halfway around the lookout.
メアさんをお探しですか？
Yeah, and what might you be doing?
私もご一緒したいと思いまして。
Saying that, she walks up beside me. What about watching the stars?
はい。織姫も彦星もとても大きく輝いていました。きっと再会して喜んでいるんですね。
What about Asuho?
望遠鏡の準備中だったんですが、双眼鏡を返したら私の言葉も届かないほど星見に没頭してしまいました。
That's Asuho for you.
そうですね。
We're heading back right after we find Mare.
はい。
The other half of the lookout is up next. We might be able to find her more easily with 2 people. If Hisakaki were here, we'd have her help us.
ですが、姉さんは断るでしょうね。
Hisakaki has never come stargaze with us before. She used the excuse that she was tired tonight, but she probably would have refused even if she weren't.
小ヶ坂さんは、
Kusame lowers the tone of her voice.
小ヶ坂さんは霊感というものを信じますか？
That's quite a sudden thing to ask.
霊能力や神通力と言い換えてもいいかもしれません。どうですか？信じますか？
Well, if shinigamis and dragons exist, why shouldn't supernatural powers exist? Kusame-san, aren't you supposed to be a shrine maiden? So it wouldn't be unusual for her to possess such abilities.
小ヶ坂さんは信じますか？
She persistently repeats the question. Her eyes are piercing right through me.
何かを見てしまう力、何かを感じてしまう力、その対象は神仏や霊魂だけではなく死神にだって当てはまるのかもしれません。そんな力を小ヶ坂さんは信じますか？
I respond after giving her a wry smile. If you were asking me back then, probably not, but maybe I do now. I've experienced many inexplicable things. I had suspected Mare to be a hallucination, but after researching about memory loss, that thought is now a thing of the past. Kusame shifts her gaze from me and looks ahead.
姉さんがこの場所を嫌うのはそれが理由なのかもしれません。この展望台に何かを感じているから嫌いなのかもしれません。だから姉さんは星が嫌いなのではなくこの場所が嫌いなだけなのかもしれません。
Hisakaki had mentioned something like this before. Something about hating this lookout, despite having never been here before.
小ヶ坂さん、姉さんを展望台に誘うことだけはしないでください。姉さんが自らの意志で訪れようとするまではお願いします。
Hisakaki has the ability to sense the supernatural. That's basically what Kusame just said. Perhaps it's because I'm being told this right after having seen that dance, but I probably would have started believing it even without my past experiences. I found you, Mare.
見つかった。
Mare, who had been sitting on the handrail, jumps down when I call out to her. You didn't come to the festival.
近くまで行ったけど明るすぎて。
Do you dislike brightness?
別に。
From the nuances of her words, it seems that she is. Since Mare is rebellious, I'm better off judging by her tone of voice rather than her words themselves.
それに神社は少し遠くて疲れる。だから海水浴の時も長いできなかった。
What's that supposed to mean?
別に。
Lagging behind, Kabuo comes down and lands on Mare's head.
こら、そこはあなたの巣じゃないの。ねえ。
Hot,
カー君、あれやって。
hot, 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 hot.
よくできました。
Don't teach him dangerous tricks.
笑ったあなたが悪い。
Kusame stares and wanders beside me.
生き物ですか？
As if she had only just noticed, Mare hides behind my back. Since she took Kabuo with her, I feel uneasy for fear of getting burned from behind.
竜みたいに見えますけど。
It's Mare's pet. She started raising him recently. Mare grabs on tightly from behind my back.
誰？
You met her at the beach, didn't you?
知らない。
There were a lot of people at the beach, and it's not as if they had talked before, so it was sort of expected. She's Kusame-san, a fellow member in the Tenkuru. After I introduce her, Kusame, who had been dumbfounded up to this point, straightens her back and pulls herself together.
久垣小雨と申します。よろしくお願いしますね。
Mare, aren't you going to greet her?
子供扱いしないで。
What, you're not a kid?
カー君、
Hot.
よくできました。
I get the feeling I'll die if something goes wrong.
命あるものはいつか死ぬ。そこに善悪はなく、早いか遅いかの違いしかないわ。
Good and evil notwithstanding, I don't want to die stupidly like this.
メアさんはとても達観してらっしゃるんですね。別に私たちよりずっと大人だって思います。そう？はい。まあ、私は死神だからね。
She seems somewhat happy.
メアさんはよく展望台を訪れているようですね。私は死神だからね。星がお好きなんですか？別に。お昼にはいらっしゃらないんですか？別に。今度他のお友達を連れてきてもよろしいですか？
Who is she referring to?
別に。
Mare's responses were always the same curt replies. Kozama doesn't appear to take offense and continues.
ぶしつけなのを承知で、いくつか質問に答えていただいてもよろしいですか？
Kozama asks the same thing Asuka said during the test of courage.
あなたは人ではないんですか？私は死神だから。死神とは何ですか？死神は死神よ。あなたはなぜ自分を死神だなんて言うんですか？
The first time Mare pauses.
それは
Her grip on my back tightens.
それはヨウ君が言ったから。
Kozama turns her eyes towards me. What I said? Mare gives a deep nod.
ヨウ君が私を死神って呼んだから。
Wait, weren't you the one calling yourself that?
私が言うよりヨウ君の方が早く言った。
Really?
忘れたの。
She's getting flustered. Well, I don't really remember too well, but it's not as if you suddenly became a Grim Reaper just because I said you were, right?
別に私は死神じゃなくてもよかった。
She mutters something that contradicts everything she has said. It happened once before. I didn't like the idea of questioning whether Mare is a hallucination or not, and thought of her as a Grim Reaper instead. Mare!
何？
Mare, you aren't a figment of my imagination, right?
当たり前。
Then I'll call you a Grim Reaper. Happy now?
カー君、
Hot.
今日のあなたはダメダメね。
I don't get why you're spitting fire at me.
今日のあなたはバカバカね。
I don't know what you mean by baka. Mare gently lets go of me.
ヨウ君、
What?
このバカバカ。
She hits me with a scythe.
帰る。
She turns around and disappears. Kabo disappears soon after her.
消えた。
She mutters as if to confirm it. What the hell was that for? At this rate, my head's going to get burnt into two. Burnt into two? Not split into two? Sooner or later.
メアさんが怒った理由、わからないんですか？
Cosima gives me a wry smile. Not a clue.
多分ですけど、小ヶ坂さんに否定してほしくなかったんですよ。
I'm sure I affirmed it in the end.
言葉が悪かったんでしょうね。死神でいいんだよな、なんて言ったら自信がないみたいじゃないですか。メアさんはあなたに心から自分のことを死神だと思っていてほしいんですよ。
I still don't get it.
例えば小ヶ坂さんと麻生さんが付き合ったとして、小ヶ坂さんが彼女でいいんだよななんて確認したら、麻生さんはとても悲しむでしょうね。
Please don't use weird examples. What's so weird about it?
ピンときませんか？
I shake my head violently, just as I was about to recall those times. Anyway, leaving that aside, would she think that I'm changing the topic? Kusuma-san, did you fear anything from Mare?
どういう意味でしょう？
I was thinking, if Hisakaki were able to sense the supernatural, wouldn't her sister possess the same ability? Isn't that why you asked those questions?
いいえ、
Kusama denies it.
メアさんが不思議な方だというのは皆さんから聞いていましたから。純粋な好奇心ですよ。
Really?
なぜ疑うんですか？
Kusuma-san, you said that you dislike prying, so I think it's pretty natural for one to think that you had a motive there. Will this also happen to be prying?
はい。
She smiles gently.
詮索は悪趣味です。それでも詮索をしたいのなら、もっと仲を深めてからの方がよろしいかと。
Closer to you, Kozame-san?
はい。
Closer than we are now?
はい。これ以上にです。
Closer than friends?
はい。友達以上に。
The relationship she's referring to, in other words, is...
冗談です。これも悪趣味でしたね。
Is it? Kozame speaks with a smile.
私には恋をする資格がありませんのに。
Why is that?
やっと戻ってきた。
Asuho, who was looking through the telescope, waves to us when she notices us coming back.
私を一人にするなんてひどいよ。
Kozame-san said you were immersed in stargazing.
離れるなら声かけてくれればいいのに。かけたんですけどね。こんな夜更けに女の子を一人にして許されると思ってるの？
How does it feel after having seen the starry sky on Tanabata?
もちろん最高だったよ。それから一人だったことに気づいて落ち込んだけど。
If only you made use of that concentration of yours in class. We're sorry for leaving you alone here.
しょうがないな。ハシホさん、こういう時は簡単に許すのではなく、何か見返りを求めるのが上策ですよ。特に現状よりも進展を図りたい場合には。
Asuho's cheeks turn red.
というわけですので、また最初からどうぞ。私を一人にするなんてひどいよ。
Asuho awkwardly replays our talk. Do I have no choice but to follow along with it? Sorry, I'm at fault here.
それだけ？
I'm truly the one at fault here. I receive a shop from Kozame.
また最初からどうぞ。
Was it unsatisfactory?
一人にするなんてひどいよ。
Sorry, I'm at fault here.
それだけ？
I'll give you the goldfish I scooped up to make up for it.
アスホさん、そこで満足しないでください。そうです。また最初からどうぞ。私を一人にするなんてひどいよ。
Sorry, I'm at fault here. I'll give you the balloons I got from the balloon fishing to make up for it. I get chopped.
また最初からどうぞ。一人にするなんてひどいよ。
Sorry, I'm at fault here. How long do we have to keep this going?
それだけ？
To make up for it, what do I do? What do you want? I get chopped. Asuho puts on a complicated expression.
うっかりです。私がお邪魔なんですね。だから二人とも照れてしまうんですよね。そんなことないから。そろそろ帰りますね。帰らなくていいから。
If you're going home, I'll accompany you. Kozame sighs.
小ヶ坂さん、私は途中でタクシーを拾いますから結構ですよ。
I can't have that.
小ヶ坂さん、
Her tone becomes more forceful.
無知は罪ではありませんが、無知のふりは罪ですよ。
I'm left speechless.
それでは。
She walks off before I can stop her. I can't chase after her. I can't let Asuho be by herself.
ごめんね。
What is she apologizing for? Shining overhead in the sky is the reunited Orihime and Hikoboshi.
ようちゃん、
Mare has disappeared. Kozame has left. We are the only two left at this lookout.
私にどうして欲しいかって聞いたよね。
You want a kiss? Her voice is trembling.
じゃあさ、
Asuho resolves herself.
腕組んでみていい？
She takes a step closer to me.
ちょっとね、やってみたかったんだ。一度ね、やってみたかったんだよ。ダンスと腕組むのやってみたかったの。
I'm frozen like a statue as Asuho starts raising her arm. Her hands make contact with mine.
嘘だよ。もう
Asuho shakes hands with me.
これは仲直りの握手。
Though we weren't exactly fighting in the first place,
私の願いは一つだよ。多くは望まない。やってみたいことはいろいろあるけど、一番欲しいのは一つだけ。
Asuho separates from me and gazes up into the sky. and we just happened to catch sight of a shooting star.
私はこうして好きな人と一緒に星空を見上げていられれば
Close to where Orihime and Hikoboshi were, a star trails off and vanishes.
りょうちゃんと一緒に星見ができればそれで十分だよ
That is Asuho's wish. A wish entrusted to the shooting star. I feel relieved. Why? I knew perfectly well, yet why do I pretend to be ignorant?
その子
I thought she left already. Mary's behind my back. Asuho doesn't notice. Mary's hiding behind my back. She speaks in a voice audible only to me.
その子あなたのことが好きなのね
Well, obviously. I know.
あなたはどうするの
I don't know. Because I'm not an honor student. What does that have to do with being an honor student or not? Mary disappears for real this time. On the way back, I called on Shino to have her pick us up by car. We come across Cosimo halfway and give her a ride in the back seat. I thought On Shino was going to have a word with me for letting her go home alone, but Cosimo speaks up for me. Asuho is sitting in the passenger seat whilst having a friendly conversation with On Shino. Her facial expression and the way she's speaking are no different from her usual self. Everyone would also agree with me. Asuho's wish is genuine, that's why even though she likes me, she doesn't necessarily want us to be a couple. Are you sure about that? Asuho said I was her first love. Haven't those feelings dissipated after all this time? If so, why did she act like that? I don't get it. What a complicated equation. It's too hard for me to solve.